And welcome into Marvin F. Wilson Stadium at the Prince George's Sports and Learning Complex for this beautiful 1st of October Friday Night Lights game between the DeMatha Stags and the Life Christian Eagles. I'm Cory Puffett of DM Stags TV, joined by Mark Goodson. How you doing tonight, Mark?
Great. It feels just a little bit like football weather out there. The sun went down. There's a nip in the air. Let's play some football.
Just enough. Not enough to be freezing cold just yet here in the booth, but definitely a nice little chill in the air. It feels like high school football tonight. We've got the DeMatha Stags, 3-1 so far, coming off a bye week, but their last game, a big 38-0 win against Friendship Collegiate. Life Christian, meanwhile, 3-3 coming to this game, also off a bye week. Their last game against one of our rivals, St. John's, they dropped that one 31-0. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams come in prepared for this game. Got Bill McGregor going for win number 288 in his illustrious career. Big number right there. And we got a few guys to look out for on the Life Christian side of the ball, especially on defense, where they'll have number 5, Antonio Kottman, and number 13, Akim Sledge, both highly recruited defensive backs with multiple Power 5 offers. And then on the offensive side, number 71, their big offensive lineman, Joshua Miller. He's had several offers, including one from Clemson. He actually was featured in a story by Fan Nation recently, a subsidiary of Sports Illustrated.
Pause here for the national anthem. Now, Cory, it is awful tough to tell how ready a team is after a bye week until the first couple series, but I can say this without a doubt. The DeMatha fan base is ready to go.
Yes, they are. This is, by the way, DeMatha's homecoming game. So at some point tonight, I'm sure we'll get a few shots of the student section, but it is a pink out. First day of October. We do wear pink in October for breast cancer awareness. We had a pink out in school, our tag day today. Definitely wanted to participate in that. So I got my pink shirt. I'm decked out right now, and I am ready to go. So DeMatha is going to line up and kick the ball away first. Didn't get to see who actually won the toss, who chose to receive or defer, but DeMatha will send Daniel Holbrook out there to kick this one away.
And look for Daniel Holbrook to be doing what he's been doing all year, which is put this ball into the end zone and make Life Christian Academy go the full 80 yards on DeMatha's stingy defense.
.12 minutes on the clock. The ball ready to go, and Daniel Holbrook sends it away, and that's going to bounce just inside the 10, but into the end zone for a touchback. And that is, in fact, where Life Christian will start this one off.
Yeah, good no cover there by the receiving Life Christian player. You don't want to try to make something happen in an adverse kick like that. Just best to let it go out of bounds and start fresh on the 20.
So we will get our first look here at Life Christian Academy, their offense, led by number 6, Isaiah French. He is actually a freshman back there at quarterback for the Eagles. And first play, handoff up the line of scrimmage, bounces off a tackle, and nice gain by number 7, A.J. Turner, to the outside.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was where the play intended to go. There's a little ricochet off of his own offensive lineman that freed him up in the space to the bottom of your screen.
Well, it looked like DeMatha's defensive line kind of converged on where the play was going, and that opened up some space to the outside.
That's exactly what it looked like. It looked like they took away what the plan was designed to do, and the running back was able to make something happen regardless.
So, new set of downs, another handoff to Turner, and he's shimmy and shakes his way down for about a 3-yard gain.
Nice patience by the young back there, finding a little alley, gets vertical, shuffles. 4 yards on first down against DeMatha's defense. If that's not part of the Life Christian game plan, it should be.
So we got a 2nd and 7 here. French in the shotgun again. Got a couple receivers split out to the bottom of your screen, 2 more to the top. And another handoff to Turner. He's going to pound his way forward, gets skinny, and runs for another 4, maybe 5 yards, in fact. That's going to set up a 3rd and short for Life Christian.
Yeah, we'll see if DeMatha gets out of this 2-safety look, gets one of the safeties down in the run box and tries to stop this. Life Christian seems to be content on just giving the ball to the back and getting what they can get.
Well, I mean, they're spreading the defense out with those 4 wide receiver sets, and that's opening up just a little bit of room. And Turner's a small guy, but small guys tend to be quick, and they tend to find those little holes in between their offensive linemen. So here we go, 3rd down, another handoff. Good pursuit by the defense. Wow, what a shake and spin out of that tackle.
Incredible.
And that was not Turner, actually. That was Michael Dabney Jr., hey, and that is a freshman running back on that play. Great
4,
balance.
Dabney Jr., he looked dead to rights. Looks as if the Stags were going to force him off the field, and he spun out of it miraculously.
I think that was number 6, Justin Moore, Jason Moore, excuse me, thinking of his older brother, but Jason Moore, who made that tackle attempt.
That's over 100-pound difference breaking out. That's 270, unable to tackle 165.
And here's our first pass attempt by Life Christian, and that is a completion from French to Dabney, going right back to the freshman running back.
So we saw a lot of these shorter intermediate routes when Life Christian was warming up, and it's nice to see them diversify their game a little bit. First down throw gets them 8 yards. Life Christian showing a lot of different skills in their toolbox right now.
Well, and they're going with some really safe plays here on this first drive, but that's going to build some confidence against a really strong DeMatha team. 2nd down and 2. Eagles set up another handoff, and it looks like that's Dabney running right up the gut, and that should be enough to move the chains, and it is.
Now, we were talking about size. Life Christian is certainly not outsized on many positions. Up front, they are large and in charge. On that particular play, they were able to drive DeMatha's defensive line a few yards downfield, get the running back about 4 yards before he was even touched.
So 3 plays for Turner, 3 plays for Dabney. Now Turner comes back in at running back. Turner, not a huge guy, but definitely more size. You notice that in the backfield. And this first play, handoff up the middle, and that should be a gain of about 2.
Now being into DeMatha's territory, I got to think Life Christian has been thinking about taking a play-action shot here. You can see DeMatha is just getting on their toes. They're chomping at the bit. They're creeping forward, trying to make plays, and here comes Life Christian, with a 2-yard gain instead of a 4-yard gain. We haven't seen any play action out of Life Christian. It seems like this is the time in the drive when it could really hurt DeMatha.
Now let's see what they do here. French puts Turner on the other side. He's going to roll out. Another short intermediate throw, and that's going to take them right up near the first down marker, and they're marking it a first down.
Nice little design there. It was trips to the bottom of the screen, a man beater. They had a little rub route going. The first receiver went vertical, cleared out the way, and the inside receiver did a little quick out. And that's tough to cover man-to-man. When the inside man is cutting out, it's almost like setting a pick in basketball. Again, another nice play call, as unfortunately here a Life Christian player is down.
Yeah, that's Deontay Hill way away from where the play was. I don't know if he was on his way off the field and just couldn't make it there on his own power. but Deontay Hill is a senior wide receiver. And we'll take a short break in the action here. And while the trainers tend to Hill, talk a little bit about some DeMatha alumni who play on Saturdays. Some guys that you may be able to watch tomorrow. DeMarco Helms heads the list of those guys. Junior for the University of Alabama. He's a defensive back. You're watching that game tomorrow. You'll see him wearing number 2 against Ole Miss. That's a big game. Number 12 against number 1 on CBS at 3:30 tomorrow. But Helms was the Washington Post All-Met Offensive Player of the Year back in 2018, his senior year at DeMatha. He's played 29 games at Alabama, recorded 81 total tackles, but his role as a safety has increased year by year. And, yeah, that's right. He plays safety now despite being the Offensive Player of the Year in the Washington Post in 2018. This year, he's gotten the starting role. Last year, he had 62 tackles in 13 games. So good luck to him tomorrow, as this snap is low and all French can do is dive on it, cover it up, and live to run another play.
Wisely done, as Jason Moore was breathing down his neck. But to return to DeMarco Helms, what fun it is to watch him play and him progress in the Alabama program. DeMatha has sent several Stags to the Crimson Tide, notably the Quanjo brothers, and then Helms. DeMarco's brother was also another successful collegiate player, the Helms family.
Yep.
Their father, a great DeMatha family.
As French takes this snap, he is looking for a receiver. He's got number 12. That was, pardon me as I look through my roster, Shannon Henry, who he was looking for over the middle, 6'3" wide receiver, but just a little bit too tall for him.
And Dante Lovett there on the coverage for DeMatha. Nice coverage, step for step. Was a dig route about 15 yards, and Lovett just had him. It wasn't a very catchable ball, but even if that was put in the right place, I think Lovett might have been able to make a play on it.
One more note on Helms. He suffered a lower leg injury during fall camp and was limited in Alabama's first 2 games, but last week he had 11 tackles against Florida, so definitely making his presence felt. French back on his 3rd and long play. DeMatha trying to get there, and good defense. Down at the bottom of your screen, I believe that was number 4 for DeMatha. Dante Lovett once again.
Great coverage there. A little comeback route, which is where the receiver looks like he's going for a fade type of thing and then comes back to the ball. Life Christian got called for a hold there. Their right tackle clearly was holding on for dear life to keep our defensive end from getting to the quarterback. But
understandably
nice coverage.
So.
Right, I mean, if the collegiate quarterback stepped up into the pocket on that one, rather than trying to bounce out of the pocket, it could have avoided that hold penalty.
So it's going to be a 4th and very long, and Life Christian figures to punt here. But still, a really good opening drive, one of the better opening drives that we've seen against DeMatha so far this season. So hopefully they don't go away from what they were doing, because it seemed to be working until those last few plays. DeMatha tightened up their defense and just did not let Life Christian continue to progress down the field.
Tightened up is right. They went man-to-man. They're in this kind of soft cover 2 zone for the first several plays. They went to man-to-man, brought a safety down, snuffed out the run, and were able to cover man-on-man routes, no problem. So, yeah, look for DeMatha to continue to amp up the pressure.
So this was the wide receiver defensive back, Jamil Anderson Jr., who punts that one away for Life Christian, and it's going to go out of bounds right at the 20 is where it looks like they are marking it.
Now, I wonder if that went out the end of the end zone or if that went out of bounds at the 20. It was hard to tell from up here. The depth perception is kind of tough.
It looked like it went out of bounds before the end zone. I didn't think that it was that far out, but
right.
DeMatha will get it at the 20, and that is where they will begin their first offensive drive.
So freshman quarterback on freshman quarterback. DeMatha's starter, also a freshman, Denzel Gardner, who played his most complete game 2 weeks ago before the bye against Friendship Collegiate. DeMatha put up 5 touchdowns in that game.
And he played pretty well in the last game that we called together as well against Episcopal.
Yeah, one thing I've always noticed about this young man is just his love of playing. It's visible, it's tangible, his energy. And players feed off that. Energy always feeds on energy, and he brings a lot of positive leadership qualities to the position.
And sending KJ Winston in motion. He's going to swing it out to his senior wide receiver, and he'll eventually be forced out of bounds, but not before he picks up 4 or 5 yards.
And getting KJ Winston in space is always a great idea. It may not have worked out the best for DeMatha on that one play, but that young man is very special with the ball in his hands. We'll see what the flag is here. Yeah, I can't imagine
we're going to need to
talk.
We're going to need to get a hold of our cameraman because he's a little ahead on the play. There we go. That's a little better.
So the flag was thrown on the perimeter, which makes me think it was receiver, which is interesting because the top receiver there, the split end for DeMatha, just ran a go route and cleared out. Maybe it was that slot receiver who got a hold of a jersey there.
Yeah, it looks that way. So that's going to back DeMatha up. He'll set up a 1st and 20 now. Or no, they brought the marker a little too far back. So
must have been down the field.
Yeah, called out a 1st and 13 instead. And that's going to be a handoff right up the middle. Not a whole lot of space there. But a short gain nonetheless by Brandon Wyatt.
Yeah, Life Christian flying around, credit them, playing physical.
Gets it back to the original line of scrimmage, sets up at 2nd and 10. As Denzel Gardner went off to the sideline to get the play, brings it back into his guys. He'll take the snap and roll out to his right, and that pass a little low.
We'll see if they rule it incomplete or not. We couldn't see from the view of the DeMatha sideline.
Yeah, the
There's
officials are
also
getting
a flag
together on
down.
this one.
It did look like DeMatha's receiver was held in his break as he came back to the sideline, but we'll see what the call is.
And they are going to call pass interference on the defense. Got a hold of Kalen Cobb, and based on his reaction, I'm thinking that they called that on number 11, Kenneth Lowry.
I think that's right here at the bottom of our screen. Pretty clear hold.
So that penalty will give DeMatha a 1st down. Does not matter whether Cobb caught that ball or not. Ball is placed at the 35-yard line.
3-back set for DeMatha. 1 in motion is Winston.
Yep, and this time instead of swinging it out, they're going to give it right up the middle.
Yeah, just the threat of putting Winston out there in the open field is enough to get the defense on their heels a little bit. Nice play call there.
Yeah, another good run by Wyatt.
2nd and 5, it's great territory. Your entire playbook is open.
And DeMatha splitting their wide receivers off to the top of the screen. 3 of them up there, tight end to the bottom of your screen.
And somebody else better get on the line of scrimmage or else this will be a procedure here.
And fake handoff and a little wide of his target. I believe that was Winston he was aiming for in the slot.
Yeah, Gardner's going to want that one back. They faked the screen to the flat. They ran a few other times. They had a man streaking wide open on a post right behind the defense. You know, this Life Christian defense is really tight up against DeMatha. They're trying to take away the run, obviously. They don't seem too concerned with the deeper shots. And DeMatha had a man open on that one. We missed him.
Yeah, you can beat that kind of defense on those timing plays, but you got to have the timing down, and it was not there. So this time they are going to hand it off, and Life Christian swarming into the backfield. Wyatt nowhere to go, and he lost, I think, every last one of those 5 yards he gained on 1st down.
Yeah, trying to run outside zone down here to the short side of the field, and if you don't capture the edge, which means if you don't get your tackle, your tight end, if you don't get them to seal the edge, there's no room for you to run outside zone. And credit Life Christian for penetrating and snuffing out that play.
So DeMatha got 1 first down on that drive on account of a penalty, and now they're going to set up to punt this one away. Good snap and a high punt. That's going to land just inside the 40 and die right there at about the 38-yard line.
It looks like both sides of the ball here. Everybody's been getting their jitters out on these first couple drives, shaking off the bye week. Time off from the game like that can really make you forget the contact and some of the, what makes football such a great sport.
A little bit of rust can settle in, but they'll shake that off pretty quickly here as Life Christian gets set up for their second drive. They had a lot of good stuff going on their first one. As French sets up, low snap again, just does get that into his his running back's gut. Turner takes that for about a yard.
And there's number 7, Tafik Bird, the safety coming down. He was in pass coverage the last 1st and 10 in this area. Now he's down to snuff out the run.
Yeah, Tawfiq Bayard very good at getting around the field. He can make his presence felt in the run and pass game. So 2nd down and 9 here for the Eagles. 3 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom of your screen. Running back in the backfield with French. This is a pass play. French looking, but the rush is there.
Ooh, big sack.
That's a coverage sack right there. There was nothing open down the field.
Number 42, Adrian Walker, the interior lineman. Getting off the block. Big loss there. Loss of 12. Go from 2nd and manageable to 3rd and forever. Nice play there by DeMatha's defensive line.
And really good coverage down the field to really make that sack possible. Gave him that extra split second to get there.
So we'll see how DeMatha plays this. They're going to play it safe and just try to keep the ball in front of them. Maybe they go for the quarterback again. Had success going after him on the last play.
Yep, 3rd and long,
They
4 rushed. Little pass to the outside. It's not going to be enough. Gets them up close to the original line of scrimmage on that pass to, I believe that was Shane Hoover.
Well, before this extra credit material going on here after the play, that's a nice play for Life Christian, just getting about 10 yards. You add to the punt with plays like that. You go from inside your own 30, now you're at the 40 and you're punting and you're putting DeMatha a little further away from where they need to be. But it is a personal foul against Life Christian. So that is going to negate the 10-yard gain.
Yep, so that will bring this one back. And it is a 4th down and about 23 yards. Call it 25 yards on this 4th down. So
you're just hoping for a positive play here. If Life Christian is hoping just to get this ball out of their territory.
Anderson's got a good leg on him. Another nice punt, and this one is going to die down right around the 50. And Life Christian actually allowed that to roll back about 2 yards.
I don't think they're too upset as long as DeMatha doesn't get to return it. And DeMatha's explosive speed, you catch the ball at the 50, that's trouble.
So as the teams switch sides, some more Stags on Saturday. Josh Wallace, class of 2019, a classmate of DeMarco Helms, a sophomore at the University of Massachusetts playing cornerback. He's had a pretty good start to his season. 4 games already, 20 tackles, a sack, and 4 pass breakups at the cornerback position. They'll be playing Toledo tomorrow at noon. As this first pass complete to KJ Winston. He'll be stood up after about a 4-yard gain.
I believe that was a little zone read there. You read the outside linebacker. If he goes with the run, you just pull it out of the gut of the running back and throw it to the receiver who replaced the linebacker. Pretty simple concept. Nice gain for DeMatha, 5 yards. It's another 2nd and 5. See if DeMatha can continue to stay on pace here and not take any negative plays.
Little more forward progress than I thought Winston got, but they did credit him with about 5.5 yards. Sets up 2nd down, and nothing doing there. All that Gardner can do is slide forward and get back to the line of scrimmage.
Now, wise move there by the young player. Stay healthy, live on to see another snap. And he did get back to the line of scrimmage with his legs, which is looks like it was about the best that the pocket could do for him on that play.
So 3rd down and 5 now. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Fake handoff and a good job on the defensive line. I believe that was number 51.
Yeah, you know, that
Tyreek Tucker.
I believe that was another designed run with an option to throw. And I imagine they may be talking to the young quarterback to say, you know, hey, why don't we give the ball a little bit? Maybe even if the linebacker's cheating over, let's still give the ball a little bit, establish the run game. Because that was an inside zone run that the quarterback pulled. And, well, here we are, 4th and 5, and DeMatha's punting the second time tonight.
Yeah, strong play there by Tyreek Tucker, the defensive lineman, number 51, to get his hand up and bat that down at the line of scrimmage. It looked like Gardner was looking for Winston again. The rush there, Caleb Spencer couldn't get there, as this punt is going to take a DeMatha bounce and roll inside the 10-yard line down to the 8.
Nice punt.
In fact, the 7-yard line looks like is where they're going to spot this one.
Nice punt right there. And in a game like this where you're kind of ironing out some kinks and things like that, special teams, the kicking game, that could be the difference maker. That could be where you get your momentum from. And making
Life Christian
Academy go 92 yards. You know, that's a great punt right there.
So coming down on the final minute of this scoreless first quarter in PG County, Maryland. Life Christian had a really strong first drive, nothing doing on their second, and now they have some terrible field position to start this third one, backed up near their own end zone. This handoff to Michael Dabney Jr., and there's a flag on the play as he was taken down for a loss of 2 or 3 yards. We'll see what this flag is.
I hope it's not one of those he was tackled too hard kind of penalties, because that was some nice defense there on behalf of the Stags.
It looks like they may be calling a face mask. Yep, personal foul, face mask against DeMatha.
Well, you can't grab the face mask.
Yep. So that's going to be a 15-yard penalty. And that is going to set Life Christian up with some much better field position than they had. I'll take them all the way out to the 21.
What a difference that penalty makes. DeMatha would have had Life Christian pinned on about the 3-yard line. And instead, they've got 1st and 10. They're outside of their own 20. And they've got some life on this drive.
Man in motion. Another low snap. We've been seeing quite a few of those today. But once again, finding a hole in that line to get through and pick up some positive yardage.
I'll tell you, second effort yards by Life Christian's running back has been the name of the game. He is quick as a dart, and he is getting lost behind these big linemen.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can see him. That might be part of the problem. So Dabney will check out of the game. A.J. Turner back in. Got a nice 1-2 punch with that backfield. They can keep those running backs fresh. French has done a pretty good job at quarterback with the movement plays as the final seconds of the first quarter wind off the clock. And teams will switch sides here, and we'll do it again for the second quarter.
Of course, Stags on Saturday. Don't forget a Stag on Friday. In about 30 minutes, Nick Cross at strong safety.
Yes,
be playing
sir.
for the Terps against the number 5 ranked Iowa Hawkeyes. Not saying you should leave our broadcast at that time, but make sure to set your DVRs so you could catch Nick Cross over there at Maryland.
Yeah, you can also have our game on your laptop and the Maryland game on TV. Just make sure you got our audio on.
That's right. So you can hear some real commentating.
Yes.
For a change.
Jordan White is a redshirt freshman at West Virginia playing offensive line. Not sure how much playing time he's been getting so far this season, but West Virginia is playing tomorrow against Texas Tech on ESPN2. Marshawn Lloyd has 12 carries for 40 yards in South Carolina's first 2 games this season. They'll be hosting Troy at 3:30 on the SEC network tomorrow. Jaden Bradley up at Pittsburgh University playing wide receiver. He'll be down at Georgia Tech Saturday at noon on ACC network. He's got 3 catches for 61 yards in 2 games in his first season at Pittsburgh. So you'll definitely want to catch some of those games on Saturday, as we need to get our cameraman on target because we're seeing an empty field right now.
Well, what we missed is a fumble here, recovered by Life Christian's offensive lineman, but DeMatha with an opportunity there for a quick turnover to start the second quarter. That would have been big.
The Life Christian will retain possession and set up for a 3rd and 5.
This is a big moment for Life Christian. A conversion here would really be a big deal.
3 receivers bunched at the bottom of your screen, 1 split out wide at the top. French looking to throw, and he's going to pass this one over the middle, and this time he keeps it down, and a nice completion to number 12, Shannon Henry.
No, real nice completion. Found a soft spot in the zone, right in the middle of the field, in between both middle linebackers.
He was looking for that play earlier in the game and just put it a little bit too high for his receiver. This time, right on target.
Yeah, clearly without a pass rush against this quarterback French, he finds people open. Look for DeMatha to ramp up that pressure when Life Christian shows pass.
And right there you saw DeMatha was rushing up at the line, and I'm wondering if the center heard some footsteps because that one was way too low, and all A.J. Turner could do was just fall on it.
It might have been the footsteps. You're right. They were coming.
I think that may have been, in fact, number 7, Tawfiq Byard, who was rushing up the line. We've seen him all over the field already today.
He has been flying up. They started him in coverage, and then ever since that second drive, they've been starting to fly him around the field pre-snap, just wreaking havoc.
Number 13 in motion at the bottom of your screen in the slot. That is Akeem Sledge. He's a three-star defensive back with multiple Power 5 offers, but right here playing offense. And looking downfield is the quarterback, Isaiah French, but that one is going to bounce off Michael Dabney's hands.
Yeah, nice coverage there by DeMatha, zone coverage. They put everything in front of him, and even if that pass was completed, it wouldn't have gone for much.
So that's going to set up a 3rd and 10 for Life Christian. French brings the play into his huddle. Dabney checking back in as well. Looked like he was heading off the field, but they want him in for this 3rd down play rather. 4 receivers, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom of your screen. Dabney in the backfield with Isaiah French, and that looks like a false start on the offense. I think French was calling for the ball, and the center held on to it. So the rest of the linemen were moving really when they were supposed to. The center just held onto the ball longer than he needed to.
It's been a tough drive for Life Christian center.
So now it's going to be 3rd and 15. And that certainly does not open up the playbook for this team at all.
No, you got to screen, you got to draw, or you just tell them, hey, look, just get what you can and let's add to the punt, which might be the right call here in a 0-0 game against the Stags. You know, you want to stay in the game as long as you can. Yeah, you don't want to try to force something. Because
your defense has been playing pretty well so far, so at this point, you know, if the only thing you can do is play the field position game, you do that until you can get something going. As this snap once again.
Another one on the ground.
And it looks like the
was
officials.
recovered by DeMatha.
Yeah, it's a turnover. So Life Christian needs to figure out some issues with their snaps.
Yeah, they're going to be taking some snaps on the sideline while DeMatha's offense takes the field. Try to sort out what's going on, maybe get a new ball in the rotation. Whatever it is, sometimes it's just throwing a new ball in there and telling the center that's what you did. It's just a mental game you can play.
Yeah.
You know, centers, quarterbacks, and kickers, they're all very, very superstitious about things like that.
Yeah, whatever you need to do, you know, plays like that are going to kill any momentum you can get on future drives. As DeMatha sets up the handoff to Wyatt right up the gut.
Yeah, and look for DeMatha to do more of this. The simple inside zone plays with the fullback leading the way up through. Look for DeMatha to try to take advantage of the lack of depth on the Life Christian defensive line. Do some things like that. Some more base runs to try to establish a bit of an identity here in the first half.
Tyler Stewart split out wide to the top of your screen as Gardner once again gives this one up, right up the gut, and I believe that was Wyatt again. That's going to get him up near the 25-yard line. Still short of the first down by about 2.5. And DeMatha with some hurry up here. Keep Life Christian from subbing anybody in. And then they're going to check the play from the sideline.
Yeah, good chance for a check with me there. They caught Life Christian in a blitz. We'll see what play caller Crounce here comes up with. Haven't seen that.
Gardner once again gives this one up, and some nice power running up the middle. Once again, I believe that was Wyatt, as a little almost extracurricular activity there with the Life Christian player pushing him down on the ground, kind of holding him there, but that's going to be enough for the first down.
Wyatt's got this great body lean. He goes through the line of scrimmage with his shoulder pads in a position to hit somebody. It's fun to watch him run. Fearless.
So I think this is Jaden Bacon checked into the game in the backfield. Saw some of him in that Episcopal game a few weeks ago. And he's going to drag some Life Christian players forward before they finally push him back. That's a gain of about 3. No. And there's a flag.
DeMatha testing the edge of the defense now. Behind left tackle Cameron Fry. A little inside zone, a little outside zone, but you can see DeMatha's game plan here is establishing the run on this drive.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that signal was for taunting.
That one, you got to show me that one. I'm not sure. Is that the taunting signal?
I think that was the taunting signal. It's been a little while since I've seen it, but I'm pretty sure that's what he just called there. So
there's been a fair amount of penalties in this game and a fair amount of needless penalties in this game. Taunting, personal fouls, things of that nature.
Yeah, Life Christian sideline didn't really like that, and the referee just went over, talked to them, and then waved them off. So the clock is running. Gardner in the shotgun. And the give. And stumbling forward, but keeping his feet for a while there. That's a nice run there by Jaden Bacon again, inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, you're not going to shoestring tackle Jaden Bacon. You definitely got to wrap him up. Great run after contact. DeMatha's in business here. 2nd and goal from the 4.
And Brendan Wyatt checks back into the game.
If he gets the carry, just watch this young man lean into the line of scrimmage.
Yep, power set here for DeMatha. The give is to Wyatt, but wow, great penetration by number 33. I actually don't have a number 33 on my roster for Life Christian, but that was quite a play.
Yeah, boy, did I speak too soon. DeMatha's run game swallowed up there. So you started with the 1st and goal on the 8. Now you're in a 3rd and goal from the 6. What do you call here, Corey?
Definitely got to throw. I say get him in motion. Try and roll him out of the pocket and just move the pocket with him almost.
They're in a good set for some sort of play action because even though they got 6 yards to gain, they got 2 tight ends, 2 backs in.
And here we go. Play action,
but
some good pursuit.
He could just get it to him.
And trying to do too much there. Probably should have just taken the sack.
I'll tell you, he could have put a postage stamp on that ball and mailed it to the corner of the end zone. There was nobody on DeMatha's fullback who released into the flat. It was the right call, but.
Yeah, so Tawfiq Bab will come into hold. 29, Daniel Holbrook will come into kick, and you know he's got to be a little bit annoyed that he has to kick it this far.
That's right. It would have been an easy chipper a moment ago.
Yep, as it stands, this is going to be about a 37-yard field goal try for the senior kicker. Good snap, good hold. Ooh. And that kick is going to go wide, I think, yeah.
He did not get under it. It's been a rough night for Danny Holbrook. Usually Mr. Consistent. And tonight we've seen a few errant kicks, an errant kickoff. There was one excellent punt when he pinned Life Christian inside the 10, but well, bye weeks are tough on kickers too. What can you say?
They sure can be.
Yeah. Too much time to sit around thinking.
So Life Christian essentially gets away with that fumbled snap earlier because, I mean, they lost a few yards net, but really not that bad. They're set up with pretty similar field position to what they had, and now it's a fresh set of downs. Still a tie game 0-0 inside of 6 minutes left in the first half. Low snap again, better than the last snap though, so they'll take that as Isaiah French gets that outside. Once again, it's number 4, Michael Dabney Jr. He is getting involved big time here in the first half, the freshman running back.
They may just be trying to play keep away from Baird, who just is flying down the field on one of the two edges of the defense there, and they're just trying to throw or run opposite of where he is.
Dabney was not a player who showed up in my scouting notes, but he's certainly made an impact on this game. Someone his size, making plays on the outside in the pass game and then running right up the middle. He's been pretty impressive.
On the
As
ground,
another one,
DeMatha.
and that is another turnover.
2 fumble recoveries on 2 consecutive defensive drives here. Jason Moore with the recovery, got himself in the backfield, and the ball laid at his feet.
Even as a DeMatha fan, you kind of hate to see it happen that way. You know, you don't expect for turnovers to be made this frequently on snaps or bad snaps this much. So, you know, you kind of hope that they can clean that up so we can see a little bit of our defense make the plays.
That's right.
But as it is, the defense did make the play to get to the football and cover it up. And that will bring Denzel Gardner back on the field. Jaden Bacon, the running back in the game right now, as DeMatha splits out 4 wide, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom of your screen.
A new set for DeMatha, 4 wide. Is the first time they've been in that set.
And Garner looking off to his left. And once again, he slipped 1 tackle, but then ends up losing a lot of yards.
Yeah, you know, that was a simple pass protection. They just rushed 4, pretty straight ahead pass rush.
Yeah, that's one thing. You know, when you slip that first tackle, you got to make sure that your momentum takes you forward. You can't then move backward because at that point you're giving up yards and the defense is already closing in on you. It's not like you're going to run backwards and get away from them.
No, that's right. Running backwards when you're getting a rush like that is very rarely the option.
Maybe if you're Lamar Jackson.
That's right.
So this one, a screenplay, and a late penalty flag comes in as I think number 51, Tyreek Tucker, may have hit Denzel Gardner a little bit late. So we'll see if this is a late hit.
Well, it would bail DeMatha out if that were the case because I believe that is an automatic first down.
And it is a roughing the passer.
Boy, did DeMatha need that.
And it didn't need to happen. In fact, I missed the number of the defender who was rushing behind Tucker, but the defender got his hand on that ball on the screenplay and knocked it down, and Tucker winds up giving them 15 yards and a first down.
Yeah, you know, the defender, he read it. He saw a screen from the beginning.
That's a play that you just cannot make if you're Life Christian. And now DeMatha needs to take advantage and make them pay for that play. So Gardner, as we get a whistle, and the clock stops. Try and see what the officials are discussing out there.
They might be determining what down it is. I don't believe it's second down. That would be an automatic first down.
They have the second down marker on there, but a personal foul, that should be an automatic first.
Yeah, roughing the passer.
They might have also had the wrong spot on the ball. I think it's a 15-yard penalty. They might have moved it up too far, but it should be a first down.
I do believe that's what they're sorting out is the down and distance we have here.
So we'll let the officials figure that out. In addition to Stags on Saturday, we've also got some Stags playing on Sunday. Headlined by Chase Young, the 2017 grad, second-year pro with the Washington football team. They will not be playing right next door to us tomorrow. They'll be down in Atlanta Sunday at 1 p.m. You'll be able to catch that game on Fox. The 2020 AP Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's got 4 solo tackles and a pass defended through 3 games this season. A little bit of a quiet start to his year, and really a quiet start in general for that Washington defense. They'll be hoping to get that thing going against Atlanta and a fairly porous Falcons offense with a a bit of an over-the-hill quarterback, if you ask me and Matt Ryan.
Well, Chase does not stay quiet for long. Whether you've had him, seen him in the classroom, I had the privilege of coaching him. He does not stay quiet for long. Don't worry about that.
So still sorting this out down there on the field.
Looks like they got that first down. I think you were right, Corey. They moved the spot back a few yards. So.
Yep.
Nope, the call on the box was 2nd and 9.
Yep,
Yeah,
there we go.
Right,
First down.
First
yes.
down and 10. Let's play some football.
Yep. So we have got a 1st and 10 here for DeMatha. The give up the middle, not a whole lot doing there. Maybe a yard. Looks like that's what they're going to give them.
You know, so far tonight, DeMatha up front has just not been able to sustain their blocks, whether it's in pass pro or run blocking.
Yeah, Life Christian has got a very strong defensive front. Some big boys down there on that defensive line.
They're making themselves known, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely moving our offensive linemen around a little more than our guys are moving them around, which is not what you want in the run game. Man in motion here. That was number 32, Noah Vitko, the tight end, as this give up the middle to Wyatt, and once again just stuffed. Number 55, Isaiah Thompson, with that play.
At some point, you got to give this young freshman an opportunity to put the ball in the air. You got some matchups on the outside here, particularly at the bottom of the screen with Tyler Stewart. And you don't have to worry about pass rush when you catch and float the ball up on a fade.
Yeah.
Of course, for Life Christian, they've got some of their best talent in the defensive backfield. So
we'll get another 4-wide set here, but 3 split out to the top of your screen, including KJ Winston. He's your slot receiver up there. But Gardner is going to look in the short game. A nice screen play, and that is going to be a touchdown by Brendan Wyatt.
Nice little screen. They caught him in a blitz. It was the right call for the right defense. The big boys got out front. Nice job blocking downfield DeMatha's offensive lineman.
It's a great play call in that situation. I mean, the defensive linemen, as we just mentioned, have been moving our guys around all game. So what do? Go ahead and let them through. Throw a little dart pass right up the middle to Wyatt in that screen game and let him do his work.
That was nice. That was a very nice call, and that'll keep those defensive linemen second-guessing a little bit. It takes the aggression out a little bit when they can't tell when a screen is coming over their heads.
So officials trying to work something out. Should be pretty straightforward to line up for the extra point attempt, but.
Yeah, not sure what. It looks like there was a decline penalty on behalf of somebody. Maybe.
Must have been against Life Christian, because I doubt that they would have declined anything against us.
Yeah, so. You don't need that half a yard when you're kicking a PAT.
No, and so this kick is on the money for Daniel Holbrook, and that'll make it a 7-0 ball game here with just over 2.5 minutes left in the first half. DeMatha finally breaks through on the scoreboard and takes the lead. That was important for DeMatha. After they sort of wasted an opportunity on the previous drive with some great field position, they made sure that they took advantage of this one. Was helped along by a huge penalty against Tyreek Tucker by Life Christian when they had us, I don't want to say dead to rights. It was second down, but it was 2nd and a mile.
Yes.
So they had us pinned back in some really difficult field position, and we got bailed out and we took advantage.
Yeah, we're able to capitalize there on Life Christian's mistake. I think you're right, Corey. I think it was really important that DeMatha was able to put that ball in.
So Holbrook will line up to send this one away. We'll see if he's able to send a little bit deeper, kicking in this direction. And the kick is away. And this is a pretty good one. It's going to be fielded, but in the end zone. So there's a really nice kick by Daniel Holbrook.
That looked a whole lot more like the Danny Holbrook that we were seeing in the first 4 weeks of play there.
So he's got to be feeling good after making that extra point. Showed it on that kick. And now we'll see what Life Christian can do in the 2-minute drill. So here they come to the line. 2 men in the backfield with Isaiah French. 2 receivers split out to the top of your screen is another
ball on the ground.
Yeah. And French does recover that one, but Life Christian's going to lose a lot of yards on that.
Yeah, Life Christian has got to sort out this exchange.
At some point, you got to give another offensive lineman an opportunity. Just, it can't get a whole lot worse.
I agree. Maybe put him under center?
Maybe. Only problem under center is if you can't handle that snap, then the defense is right there, as opposed to actually giving your quarterback a chance to recover it in the shotgun.
Absolutely. Well, they are under center.
They are. I think that was the first play we've seen them under center, I formation, and the give not going anywhere on that play. I believe that was Michael Dabney Jr.
Yeah, Life Christian pulled their guard, but there was absolutely no gap for him to pull through to, so it just ended up being this congested mess of white jerseys. No place to run for the back. And
DeMatha calls a timeout there wisely. Go ahead and conserve some clock, give their offense a chance to get the ball back before the half and maybe try and extend this lead as we get a look at our student section down there. The pink out, as I mentioned at the top of the game, for homecoming, the pink out for breast cancer awareness. It is the 1st of October. See Mr. Garrett down there.
Pink, Mr. Tate with the pink pants.
Oh, yeah.
Bright pink for the flamenco pants.
And next to them, that was Thurman Hawkins III, our SGA class president.
Now, a lot of fun being had down there. It's great to see the DeMatha spirit alive this week during Spirit Week. Great to see students coming out Friday night rallying behind their boys, their brothers here.
Thurman did a really good job of organizing the tag days for this Spirit Week and of organizing the homecoming dance. We weren't sure if that was going to happen or not as we get a 3rd and long for Life Christian. DeMatha teasing the blitz with number 3, Simeon Coleman. And we've got a timeout now taken by Life Christian. So they're going to think about how they want to handle this play.
Yeah, how to not turn the ball over and not go backwards. I think might be if they could go into halftime with a 7-0 score. You got to think Life Christian is pretty happy about their chances. I mean, they're in the game deep into the 3rd quarter no matter what.
You got to wonder what's happened since that first drive, though, because they did not have these snap issues. They were moving the ball very well. And now, I mean, we haven't even really gotten to see what their offense can do against this defense for the past 3 drives because it seems like almost every snap is just too low to manage.
It's that thing. It's such a specified movement, the snap. It's like a handoff. It's like anything else. It's like a putt in golf. You can just get in your head about these things. And something that usually is simple becomes very complicated.
There's a good snap. Pass to the outside. And tries to slip the tackle, but
Nice
A.J. Turner is
tackle.
not going to get away from that one.
Dante Lovett with the open field tackle. Really nicely done there.
And DeMatha will take another timeout here. It'll be 4th down with just under a minute and a half, so plenty of time for DeMatha to try and get something going on a drive.
Yeah, Life Christian's punter has not been able to pin the ball very deep. I'd say on average they'd be getting this ball around the 45-yard line if they're able to bring up a 4th down here.
And it certainly doesn't help punting from back inside his own 10 here.
And our own Daniel Holbrook just put the kickoff deep into the end zone. You got to think he can hit a field goal from 30, 40 yards.
Yeah, especially if they can center the ball between the hash marks. That was one issue on his last field goal attempt where he missed it. They were all the way down on the left hash mark.
Oh, so it is 4th down. I misspoke saying 3rd down earlier. And Life Christian's out to punt.
Yep, Jamil Anderson out there. He'll take the snap and get this one away. And this one's going to take a little bit of a Life Christian bounce, picked up on a hop, and DeMatha's going to take this one back inside the 40-yard line. Trying to get a look at who that was. I think it was number 18, Cody Williams, who fielded that and got a few yards. And it was Cody Williams.
Yeah, he let the ball bounce in front of him, which is exactly what you want to do. He waited for the right moment. You could tell the special teams coaching coming through there. That wasn't a dangerous play. It was a pretty smart play. You know, you get the ball on the 34-yard line instead of the 44-yard line. In a situation like this, that makes the world of difference.
It sure does. So 4 wide set. And into the slot, KJ Winston, but well covered. Really good reaction by the defender there, trying to get a look at his number.
Yeah, DeMatha
looks like number
getting on the ball quick. We have not seen them try over the top of Life Christian's defense.
Yeah, in fact, I think that was Jamil Anderson, the punter, playing defense. He is listed as a wide receiver defensive back, and that was a really good play to make that open field tackle on KJ Winston. As we've got some more discussion from the officials here.
DeMatha doesn't mind this discussion as the clock has stopped while they set the ball.
And they got an extra 2 yards out of it.
And it gives DeMatha time to get the play in and catch your breath before the next snap. Here goes the whistle and the clock starts.
So they were about to set him up 2nd and 11. I guess they didn't give him the forward progress he had earned. So it's now 2nd and 9 for DeMatha as Gardner winds up.
Turn.
And I think Winston may have just lost that one.
Lost it in the lights. I'll tell you, though, it was a great route. There's a little post corner. He had him open, a little double move. And that's another one. I don't know if it was lost in the lights or just a little earlier than Winston expected it.
Yeah, I don't think that Winston was expecting it to come to him and just overthrew him a little bit. But it was a good look by the freshman quarterback as they set up for 3rd down and 9 now. And he's going to spin out of the pocket. A really nice spin move. He's not going to get the 1st down, but he is going to pick up some yardage. And we'll see if DeMatha decides to try a field goal here. The clock is stopped here at 23 seconds. And it's because of a penalty, so they're going to lose some yards. So that's going to set up a 3rd and long back at the 30. No, call it the. Back at the 49-yard line.
Yeah, it must have been. The hold must have occurred then about 12 yards
behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah, I'm a little bit confused here because they just had 3rd and 9.
Yeah,
and this is well more than 19 yards that they need to go for this 1st down. So
no such thing as a double hold.
I don't know about that, but fake the give. And just going to take what he can as the ball came out, and Life Christian has it.
Yeah, the freshman quarterback there trying to do everything. I mean, the risk reward isn't too bad selling out like that on a 3rd and long. Life Christian does have the ball with 7 seconds to go.
So enough time to maybe try a Hail Mary.
No, that's right. I mean, why not? If you're Life Christian, can you imagine? You have the opportunity to be tied with DeMatha 7-7. After putting the ball on the ground, I believe 4 times and turning it over twice.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the opportunity, you got to try for it. So 47 yards away from pay dirt, 7 seconds.
Defensive coordinator Dino Campbell throwing those hands in the air.
And I believe Life Christian does have a timeout left, so they could try something shorter just to give them a little bit of a shorter field. That said, let's see what they do here. So they called a timeout. So I don't know if that's their last timeout. That's either Life Christian's 2nd or 3rd timeout of the half.
I was a little surprised to see DeMatha in kind of a standard defense. You know, they had 2 safeties high. Their corners were about 5 yards off the ball. I think it's more likely to see DeMatha after this timeout to come in a little more of a prevent to try to keep the ball in front of them.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to give this touchdown up. You can live with giving up some yards, even if Life Christian can get down and stop the clock and have one more play. You know, it's one more play that you can defend. Not to mention, it's one more play that they have to snap the ball.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So here we go, Life Christian Academy.
The dynamics of high school football. You just never know. Friday night lights. It's great to be up here, Corey.
The ball is on the 47-yard line. French takes it at his own 48 on the snap, and that pass, it's going to be forward. DeMatha wisely goes and picks it up, but that is a forward pass, incomplete. So only 2 seconds come off the clock.
I don't know how it was possible for 2 seconds to come off that clock and not more. There's some interesting math going on here between the 28-yard holding penalty and the miraculous 2-second play.
Yeah, that was another low snap there for Life Christian, and then a low throw. There's just no way that his receiver was going to handle that, and wisely he just let it hit the turf.
Yeah, I got to think they were taking your approach, though, Corey. He's probably going to set up a little screen, get what you could, get out into the flat, and give your quarterback the chance to throw the ball into the end zone. I'm not sure if...
Yeah, the only problem with a play like that is if you get your receiver in too much space, they tend to want to do too much, and you end up winding all 7 seconds off the clock if you're just dancing around there. So here we go, 5 seconds, a short pass here. The clock is down to zeros as Michael Dabney takes this up past the 30-yard line, but no harm, no foul for DeMatha, as that will take us to the end of the first half. It is 7-0 Stags, as they're going to head off and get a talking to from Coach Bill McGregor. I'm sure that he was expecting to be up by more than 7 points going into the intermission.
Yeah, I think the bye week might have taken its toll. DeMatha's offensive line looks a little rusty. They're not really commanding the way they usually do, moving people in unison the way they usually do. DeMatha's defense, they played pretty well. Took advantage using some turnovers there, but the overall team play, even special teams, was a little lackluster. I think all 3 phases of the ball are probably getting that good old Bill McGregor motivational pep talk, the kind that gets you 200-plus wins.
Right. Now, the good news for DeMatha is that they did kick off to start the game, which means that they will get the ball to start the second half. It'll be an opportunity to make this a 2-score game. Thank you for joining us tonight on DM Stags TV. We're in the middle of a tight one, 7-0 Stags here at the end of the first half. For Mark Goodson, I'm Cory Puffett. We'll be back in just about 15 minutes. Actually, I think it's 10 minutes, but however long for the start of the second half. And welcome back into the Marvin F. Wilson Stadium at Prince George's Sports and Learning Complex. Cory Puffett and Mark Goodson here with the call as we get set for the second half of action here between the DeMatha Stags and the Life Christian Academy Eagles. DeMatha with a 7-0 lead after a bit of a sloppy first half, all told. Life Christian with a lot of fumbled snaps, and DeMatha able to take advantage on one of them, but also a lot of negative plays on the DeMatha side of the ball.
Negative plays, penalties, mistakes, all phases of the game looking sloppy in the first half.
So we'll see if Coach McGregor was able to maybe get under his players' skin a little bit at the halftime speech and get them fired up for the second half, because they're going to need to come out a little more crisp than they were in that first half.
Yeah, that's right. And here they are about to say they're Our Father and come out and play their hearts out, no doubt. If there's one thing DeMatha always does under Bill McGregor is play their hearts out. So mistakes happen, but, effort, they're going to show some effort. You know that.
As we get set for the second half, we talked about Chase Young a little bit earlier, but he is not the only DeMatha Stag playing in the NFL. Jawan Bentley, class of 2014, he's in his 4th year with the New England Patriots playing linebacker. 5th-round draft pick back in 2018. He's got 13 total tackles this year. You'll be able to see him Sunday night on NBC. Tampa Bay at New England, a big game there. The headline, of course, being Tom Brady against his old team, the New England Patriots, under the leadership of Bill Belichick. But you'll be able to watch Jawan Bentley on the defensive side of the ball going up against Tom Brady.
Yeah, Bentley was just such a great player, such an outstanding young man, such a hard worker, too. In and out of the classroom and just all around, wonderful, wonderful young man from a wonderful family who's doing big things. Very proud of him.
So Life Christian Academy is lining up to send this one away. And that was, I believe, that's KJ Winston on the return. He's got a little bit of space, takes it up just past the 30, as that was Armando Grotto, the fullback defensive lineman, who sent that one off into the night sky.
So DeMatha had some success with basic run games, simple fullback lead, simple inside zone. Run plays like that help them get into a rhythm there on that one touchdown drive. So look for DeMatha to do what worked best in the first half, which is, yes, definitely the short pass game and the inside run game.
Certainly going to be a key to this half to see how the offensive line handles the defensive front by Life Christian, because that has not been a winning matchup for DeMatha so far tonight. But this first play from scrimmage, I believe that was Jaden Bacon taking that up the middle, about a 9-yard gain before he was cut down at the legs.
And offensive line coaches must have really got under the skin, because that offensive line got off the ball like they never did in the first half. I mean, they were lean, they were together, they had demeanor, they were in unison. That looked like the DeMatha of the past few weeks.
So another handoff. This is Wyatt in the backfield, and not a huge gain there, but he's going to be close to the first down marker.
So that was an unblocked man, unaccounted for in DeMatha's zone scheme. That's exactly why you put in the zone read. So, you know, when linebackers fly off the edge like that, you can just kind of throw those little hitch routes behind them. But DeMatha was run all the way there. You know, Life Christian took a gamble bringing him off the edge like that, and it paid off.
The officials marked that down at the line of scrimmage. No gain for Wyatt on that play. So they'll set up for third down and about a long 2 to go. And a great defensive stop by Gene Townsend, the linebacker, number 9, on that play, getting into the backfield and taking our running back down before he could get to where he needed to go.
No, same defensive call, just flip it and brought the opposite outside linebacker, and just as unaccounted for as the outside linebacker on the other side when you bring him. If you don't have him accounted for in the scheme, he's not getting blocked. He comes off the edge, he makes a play, and 2 gambles, consecutive gambles in a row. You know, maybe DeMatha just thinking they could, run the same play over and over again with success, but Life Christian was ready for it.
And for as much difficulty as Life Christian has had on offense since that opening drive of the game, when they were able to march down the field, their defense has been swarming, a lot of energy, and I'm impressed because they had to spend so much time on the field in the first half because of those turnovers, because of those miscues, and yet here they are still with the same energy and a great 3-and-out stop for Life Christian on that first possession of the second half.
No, that's a great point, Corey, because when you look at the Life Christian sideline and you realize the depth is not there. These are guys who, you don't have a backup in your position in a lot of ways. So two-way players,
Yep. So if you can get a 3-and-out, that's going to give you a little bit of time to recover on the sideline. So that was huge.
Oh, absolutely.
So that'll bring the Eagles offense back out on the field. Isaiah French, the quarterback, freshman quarterback, I should say. Give on the first play from scrimmage up the middle. Not a whole lot doing there. Good defense by the Stags line.
And who else but Tafiq Baird, who's just flying into the action from the secondary. Little power run game, and DeMatha was ready for that. And you can tell that they're gearing up to stop the run from the beginning here, and they're playing very physical right now in their front 7.
So a second down and a long 8 from the 30-yard line is what is set up by that short run on first down. Under center here is French. Another give right up the middle. And A.J. Turner bounced off one tackler, but there wasn't much to gain after that. Might have picked up 3 yards, though. That's a pretty good gain considering the wall that he hit at the line.
It's a very similar drive to DeMatha's first drive of the second half. They want to run the power, and they want to run it over again. And maybe they want to run it a third time here, but it seems like on both sides of the offensive ball, teams are not willing to test their freshman quarterbacks over the top. And I think the team that is able to do that successfully will have an advantage this half.
Big time. Here we go. 3rd down and 6. Under center again, rolling out of the pocket, stepping up. He's got a man over the middle of the field, and that is going to be enough for a first down. I think that was I thought I saw number 9, but I don't think that was number 9. I guess that was number 9, Gene Townsend. He's listed as a linebacker on my roster, but I guess he's also playing both ways and made a nice play there to get the first down.
Yeah, this looks like the roster is pretty thin for Life Christian at this point. So it's, the lineman's the kicker, the linebacker's the receiver. And, you got to credit that kind of football, and that's what high school football is all about, is just finding a way to help your team in whatever that looks like.
Another play under center. That's 3 in a row, it looks like, for Life Christian. And a nice darting move by Michael Dabney to get up the middle. Didn't wind up getting all that many yards, maybe 5 on the carry, but still, that was a really nice move. Just kind of slipped through a hole.
Yeah, DeMatha was in the backfield ready to make a play, and the quickness of the back there was able to elude a tackle for a loss and get something positive. 2nd and 5, midfield, Life Christian's in business.
The agility was impressive too. Just kind of stopped on a dime, stepped back and out to the side. Nothing doing because the defense was right there on him. But once again, under center, Dabney dives ahead, picks up another 4. He's going to be close to the first down marker there. Mark just short.
Yeah, we're speaking of versatile players for Life Christian. That is number 9, a linebacker playing fullback in Gene Townsell, who's in a track stance and trying to chip the defensive end.
And you can see on your screen there, number 71, that is Joshua Miller. He is a big boy down there. He's the one we talked about at the top of the show. There's an offer from Clemson, among several other Division I schools.
And here comes DeMatha's all 7 coming at him if they can't get a loss here, Corey.
And they didn't. They got to him in the backfield, but a great job by Dabney to slip that tackle and then get forward and pick up just enough for the first down.
What a slippery back. DeMatha brought 7, had him in the backfield. Tafik Boyd among others. Both inside linebackers for DeMatha.
Yeah, got to wrap him up a little better.
Luke Hackett is in the backfield.
So that ball is on the 44-yard line of DeMatha. The 34 is the line to gain. 1st and 10. And the fake handoff, getting into the backfield was Moore, putting pressure on the quarterback, and all he can do is get that out toward Townsell, but that's going to fall incomplete.
And DeMatha's own two-way star, KJ Winston, was barreling into the flat in the coverage. Nice coverage by DeMatha's defense. Winston was 1 step away from a pick 6 there.
Yeah, Winston playing very well on both sides of the ball tonight. Probably haven't gotten him as involved as the offense would want to, but when he has gotten the ball, he's made a few things happen. Very versatile player.
Life Christian's got to find a way, as we see a sweep here to the outside.
Yep, A.J. Turner spinning and getting his momentum to fall forward. He did pick up about 3 yards.
This is not the situation in a 3rd and 8. But Life Christian has got to find a way to lift the top off this defense. DeMatha is on their toes. They are leaning. They are ball hawking. They're following that running back wherever he goes. They're very susceptible right now to some play action, to some deeper route combinations. But I think the difficult part is their pressure is so good and they're so physical and fast that it's hard to just give that freshman quarterback any amount of time to make something happen downfield.
Yeah, French did make a nice throw on the last 3rd down and 6, and here he is once again. And this is not French in. They brought in a new quarterback, number 16, Shane Hoover, on that play. They brought in a senior quarterback for that 3rd down and 7 yards to go, and that pass was nowhere near his receivers, sailed out of bounds, and is going to set up a 4th down. I'm curious why they brought in a different quarterback. Did something happen on the previous play?
It's interesting. I don't know.
Because French made a good throw on the previous 3rd down, got the 1st down, and he's in the flow of the game. Usually it doesn't really work out in your favor when you're trying to play quarterback by committee. Oh,
especially in situational football where it's a 3rd and long. It's hard to come in fresh off it's like trying to throw a fastball your first pitch. DeMatha gets pinned here.
Big mistake there by DeMatha. Really bad move by Cody Williams to try and pick that up. It slipped through his hands and he had to go back to get it, and he wound up being tackled just outside the goal line.
This is exactly the type of test DeMatha needs, especially up front. They showed a lot of signs of coming together, playing physical, and getting a better demeanor, playing lower and moving together here. This is a great chance for DeMatha's offensive line to establish the line of scrimmage, get some positive yards. We'll see what they come out with.
So DeMatha sets up 1st and 10 from right around their 2-yard line. Some horrible field position for the Stags. A long way to drive. They give it to, I believe, the fullback. Probably a smart move. Give it to the guy who's right there near the line as they brought Bacon in. Didn't pick up a whole lot there, maybe a yard. And our public address announcer calls it a 2-yard gain. I think he might be a little bit generous to DeMatha on that one. Still backed up to their own goal line. The give once again, and this time they'll pick up some yards. Really strong run by Bacon, dragging a man on his back. And that'll get them close to the first down marker, still about a yard short.
Love to see after the play there. Right tackle Michael Crounce helping up his fellow offensive lineman.
And DeMatha in the hurry up, DeMatha is trying to keep Life Christian on their toes after that nice gain. But as we've seen all night, 3rd down, Life Christian tightening up. And they drive Jaden Bacon back for a loss of a yard. It's going to be 4th down and 2. And in this part of the field, I don't think you can go for it here.
Nah, this is got to be a punt. You can't afford to give Life Christian an opportunity to score. You're only up 7. The third quarter is up and gone in the blink of an eye with all of this run game.
It really is. Holy cow! I mean, almost to 3 minutes left.
You know, when you run the ball over and over again in between the tackles, you get a quick quarter. This is only DeMatha's second possession, and it's another 3 and out.
And a good punt by Daniel Holbrook, way up and fielded by Jamil Anderson. He's doing the punting and the returning, but no return on that one, as all he can do is catch it and go to the ground.
Sensational punt. That was a remarkable punt.
Really good. That got him all the way back across midfield.
Kicker coach OC is going to give him a dap on the sideline there, maybe take away one of those demerits he got this week. What do you think?
Oh, come on. Daniel Holbrook's a good kid. I doubt he got a demerit this week.
I meant to make fun of OC, not Holbrook. I take it all back.
I've got Daniel Holbrook in my science fiction senior seminar. I'm really enjoying having him and the rest of those guys in class. In fact, KJ Winston is in that class as well.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, no, the two of them are good fun. So the run here, stuffed in the backfield by DeMatha. Really good job by number 3, Simeon Coleman, to get into the backfield and be a part of that tackle.
Yeah, real good fill there from the linebacker. Saw an open gap, just sat and waited for that running back to fall in his lap. Nice play.
And you'll notice that's still number 16, Shane Hoover, in at quarterback for Life Christian right now. So, you know, you gotta wonder what might be going on with Isaiah French. Hopefully it's not an injury, because, you know, he was playing pretty well in this game. You know, the mistakes on Life Christian were not on him, and they were just low snaps for the most part.
Now, that is the story. Usually you see the senior get the start, and, you know, the freshman will come in if the senior's not performing. But in this case, it was the reverse. Maybe they just figured the seniors got much more to play for in the second half and could make some magic happen. Delay a game there, as the senior we're referring to wasn't able to get the snap off in time.
And that's going to set up a 2nd and 17 for the Eagles. Down just outside of 2 minutes to go in this half. Life Christian to the line. They've got 2 receivers split out to the bottom of our screen and 2 men in the backfield. And Hoover looking to the side, and A.J. Turner was behind him. No way he was pulling that in, and even if he did, DeMatha was right there.
Yeah, listening to the announcer, it was Robert Stevens, number 20. It's a beautiful form tackle, nice angle, good close.
Yeah, and I think Jason Moore was also out there defending the flat.
Jason Moore, he's everywhere. Everywhere and anywhere you need him to be.
So, yeah, no, Stevens and Moore had that one locked down, but the ball behind Turner makes it a moot point.
It seems to be another half of field position football. Life Christians once again in a situation where they probably just want to get a positive play and be able to punt the ball and make DeMatha go the distance. DeMatha has yet to put together a drive for a touchdown.
Yeah, their one touchdown came on a very short field, and they needed to be bailed out by a penalty, a roughing the passer call against Tyreek Tucker on that drive.
No, that's right. So if Life Christian can just keep the field position battle waged here, when the fourth quarter comes, high school football, you just never know. Look at our student section there that pink out.
Yeah, I wonder who's in the Stag these days. Back in the day, Hunter Dickinson was in there. You could always tell because it didn't fit him quite right.
That's
You could see his wrists on the at the ends of the sleeves.
You're not supposed to see their calves when they're in the Stag statue costume.
Yes, I'm wondering who's got it today, but good to see the spirit down there. Probably would enjoy this game a little more if we had put more points on the board at this point. But
my money's on Jarrell Robertson. I think Jarrell Robertson's in there.
So here we go, third down. A lot of yards to go, about 17 yards needed here for Life Christian. Hoover in the shotgun, and he's rolling out of the pocket because of the rush, trying to find somebody downfield. He does get this off to Akeem Sledge, but they're not going to go anywhere there, not even back to the original line of scrimmage.
Nice coverage there by DeMatha. Nowhere to go with the football.
Sets up a 4th and 13.
Credit Life Christian for not taking a negative play, not committing a turnover, adding, 8-10 yards to the punt. And here Life Christian is still in that field position game, which is right where they wanted to be.
Yep. So Anderson is back to punt once again. And a low punt spiraling down toward the sideline, and that will look to go out of bounds around the 34, about the 35 or 36-yard line. Not a terrible punt, but probably not what they were looking for there. But they did keep it away from the DeMatha return game.
So first two drives, DeMatha comes out, tries to establish the run. First drive, it looked like they were having some success up front, but their play calling got a little similar, and Life Christian threw some blitzes and was able to force them to punt. Second drive, DeMatha starts with the ball on the 2. They tighten up their formation, try to run between the tackles, and fail to make a first down. So now here comes DeMatha, 2 receivers set, 2 backs in the backfield, looking like they're going to be doing what they did. It's some more run game here.
Yep, and that is just what they do. Right up the gut, about a 3-yard gain right there. Not much for Brendan Wyatt, but he did make it a 3-yard gain, so that'll set up a 2nd and 7. You kind of have to figure that in this situation, DeMatha doesn't really want to get to a 3rd down because Life Christian has been so good on 3rd down defensively so far this game, and especially the first 2 drives of this half.
Yeah, you got to think the first down of the half is going to be important for DeMatha. Some momentum is needed here.
They're going to run it again. And Wyatt darts forward. He'll pick up a little more than half of what he needed, but it is going to set up a 3rd down. 3rd down, long 3, maybe 4 yards to go here.
And the size of Life Christian's front 4 is really making it difficult for DeMatha to find running lanes.
The Stags need to get this just past the 46-yard line for a first down. Pistol formation here.
And here comes Christian Life. They're coming after him.
They sure are. Rolls out and nothing doing. The ball not on the money as the target was number 32, the tight end Noah Vitko. And hard hit, but a legal hit, at least in the eyes of the officials, and it's going to set up another 4th down for DeMatha.
And this is where on the sideline you start looking for that leadership. It's a lot put on this freshman quarterback, but, frustrations start to grow, and this is when you can start to point fingers at one another, and that's when all that nonsense has got to stop. And you just got to sit down and talk some X's and O's and figure out what's the best thing to do on the next drive.
I know we're not Eagles fans in this broadcast booth. I'm a football team guy, and you're a Giants guy.
Yeah, afraid to say
but, Rodney McLeod, class of 2008, I actually ran track with him back when I was a student here at DeMatha. He is in his 10th year with the Philadelphia Eagles. He's expected to make his 2021 debut this week, 9.5 months removed from suffering a torn ACL. Terrific player. He's had such a remarkable career, 535 tackles, a couple sacks, 10 fumble recoveries, 14 interceptions, and 2 touchdowns in his career. He has been so good for the Eagles ever since he got there from the Rams. And he had a pretty good start with St. Louis, but when he came out to Philadelphia, he's just been so solid for that defensive backfield.
We'll talk about McLeod in a second as DeMatha punts this one away.
Yep, high punt.
High one, yeah.
And that one going to take a DeMatha bounce inside the 10. It's still rolling down just inside the 9-yard line at the 8. Great punt.
So Holbrook says, okay, you want to play the field position game? I'll play the field position game. How do you like going 92, Life Christian? But, Roddy McLeod has always been such a supporter of DeMatha football program, hosting camps, coming, speaking to the players.
Yep.
Actually, the second Philadelphia Eagle who graduated from DeMatha with the Super Bowl ring, if you consider Brian Westbrook. He won one, didn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. So Roddy McLeod, very happy for him. Looking forward to seeing him out on the field. Not only a supporter of DeMatha football, but a supporter of DeMatha in general. I mean, he comes back from time to time when he can. And last year during the pandemic, as our seniors were dealing with trying to figure out how they were going to, how graduation was going to work and everything, he sent a message to our senior body. Very much appreciated. Life Christian sets up in the I formation, but we've got flags and whistles, and I thought I saw a flag. Definitely a whistle, and it is a false start. So that's going to back them up halfway to the goal line, down to around the 3.5. Call it the 4.
Yeah, and speaking with some of the senior class this year, it's obvious that the pandemic and the isolation that came with it really took its toll on our students' mental health, and it's just wonderful to see our young men out competing again as flying around the field. DeMatha's defense is smelling the back
of
the end zone, and they're hoping to get 2 points here. If DeMatha's offense is struggling, why not put up 2 on defense, huh?
Last night we had the bonfire. It's an annual tradition, the week of homecoming, and it might just be because we've been inside for so long and we aren't really used to the crowds, as we do have an injured Life Christian player on the field. It might just be that I'm not used to being around crowds, but it seemed like it was a little bit more heavily attended than in years past, and I think it really is just the kids are they are craving some interaction with their classmates and their friends, and any sort of an opportunity to get out and hang out with their friends, they're going to jump at that. So I'm sure tomorrow night our students are going to have a lot of fun at homecoming. Certainly hope that they do. Anthony McFarland, class of 2017, he is in his second year out of college, went to the University of Maryland and had a pretty good career there, but forewent his junior and senior years, 4th-round draft pick last year for the Steelers. He's currently on IR with an unspecified injury, but we figured that when he returns from injury, he's probably going to be the primary backup to Najee Harris. So Pittsburgh's playing this weekend on CBS at 4:25 against Green Bay, but McFarland will probably be another week or 2 before he gets in. And you can see Michael Dabney Jr. is being carried off the field, and that's heartbreaking to see. He's been all over the field on offense for Life Christian, been such a source of energy for them, doing so much for that offense, and got to figure that being carried off like that, he may be done for the night.
Yeah, certainly praying and hoping for that young man and a swift recovery with whatever he's injured with.
He's been fun to watch tonight. So toss out of the backfield, that is A.J. Turner, who doesn't really have a lot of room to work with on the outside.
Yeah,
they tried to set up some blocks and couldn't.
Toss is a tough play down here. You really got to put some stress on those linemen to work horizontally. And
it's dangerous when you're backed up against your own end zone, too.
And when you average about 270 up front. That play call was a big ask, but maybe they figured they could catch DeMatha off guard a little bit.
Doesn't look like they did. It's going to be 3rd down and call it 13 yards to go from the 5.
And here goes Life Christian, just looking to play mistake-free football. Add to the punt a little bit. Maybe they can get DeMatha out of their own territory. but certainly not thinking big play here. Just trying to play safe football and stay in the game.
And once again, I think that's a false start. The center did not snap the ball.
Yeah, that's the second time. There's been a lot of miscues by Life Christian. We've got the centers holding on to the ball too long, putting it on the turf a little bit. DeMatha's lone touchdown came off a muffed snap and a DeMatha recovery well inside Life Christian territory.
So here we go. 3rd down and 8 now for Life Christian. Just about 2 minutes have ticked away here in the 4th quarter. DeMatha still with a 7-0 lead. That has not changed since late in the first half. And rolling out, heavy pressure, and the pass way over his receiver's head. He was targeting number 12, Shannon Henry.
Yeah, not too many options there. I mean, you're not going to fool too many people on 3rd and 8 with play action. And DeMatha had it well covered. They sat back in zone, kept everything in front. The timing wasn't there. You know, he lost the opportunity to throw it right out of the receiver's break and probably did the wise thing, throwing it out of bounds at that point.
So DeMatha will get the ball back. You figure in pretty good field position after holding Life Christian without a first down in that drive.
And this will really be a test of DeMatha's grit. No doubt in the halftime meetings, they talked about we are going to establish the run. And they were very deliberate about what they're going to do because DeMatha hasn't really done anything except to run straight at Life Christian.
And we've got a return here for DeMatha. Moving laterally is Cody Williams, and he does wind up picking a few yards up at the end of that return as he worked back toward his own sideline.
So here is the gut check moment, particularly for the offensive line, the 5 up front. As DeMatha likely will still continue to run behind them and do what they said they would try to do in the second half. I think it's a real statement that they're trying to make.
One group that's got to be happy with the low-scoring game right now are those cheerleaders down there on the sideline. If you remember 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago when we were playing against Episcopal, they had to do 105 total push-ups, and they've had to do 7 tonight. So they have got to be thrilled with this result so far.
And not too many other people on that sideline thrilled with it.
This run up the middle picks up a few yards. Nice run by Brendan Wyatt.
Yeah, nice run there. Shoestring tackle, barely tripped up. He had some more in him if he didn't get tripped up.
So he's up to the 35-yard line, sets up 2nd down and 5 for the Stags. As Jaden Bacon is now in the backfield for DeMatha.
That 3-back set, unique set. Winston in motion, that's familiar.
And
First
they're going to
play of
go
the
out
game.
to him.
There
And
it
he's
is.
got some space. And he is slippery. He's going to shake his way up past the 25-yard line, just inside that 25-yard line, in fact.
Getting the ball to KJ Winston in space is always a good idea because you just never know exactly, what he's going to break out with.
He's got good vision when he has the ball in his hand. He's got some good moves, good footwork, and just, if you get him the ball in space, he's likely going to make somebody miss, and he did right there.
And now you just got something that you can divert the defense with, watch them to use that and build on that.
Gardner will give this one up. And once again, Wyatt chugging up the middle, picks up another 4 or 5 yards.
Sometimes all you need is that one play that works, because now every time Winston does that little back pedal for the ball, you could fake it to him, throw behind him. You could run the counter back away from that. You can base an entire offense off of the one play that's working for you when you're struggling to move the ball.
And you figure Winston's probably going to go in motion again here. He's in the backfield, and that tends to be their MO. When he lines up back there with the quarterback, he's probably going to move in motion down the bottom. Yep, there he goes.
You got to go with them. You see they removed an inside linebacker and gave DeMatha some area to run right up the middle. So DeMatha is definitely finding a set here that works for him.
Yep, that picked up about 3, so that's going to set up a 3rd and about 4 to go. And here we go, third down play. Press coverage by the defense here. Give up the middle, that was Bacon. Rumbling forward for a nice pickup. And that's going to be more than enough for the first down.
Yeah, big first down there, and DeMatha has failed in prior drives to get to that third and short and find a way to convert. So you got to know those boys up front are hearing the cowbells. They're seeing the pink. They're seeing the pom-poms, and they're thinking, okay, and there come the stomps. This has to be giving DeMatha some life late in the game.
So the Stags can pick up a first down without scoring here. They're lined up at about the 12.5, 13-yard line. And we've got a timeout for the Stags.
Yeah, interesting timeout there. It did seem like there was a bit of momentum going, but something to think about.
DeMatha's Walkathon is going to be this Monday, and this year we're walking in solidarity with the victims of the earthquake in Haiti, and in particular the family of Gio Joseph, one of our sophomores. His family lives down in Haiti, and they are currently homeless and trying to rebuild their lives, so we'll be walking in solidarity with them. We've been raising money for the victims of the earthquakes in Haiti as well, so we'll have that walk on Monday during school.
No, so what a great cause and what a great event. The weather is always... Well, I don't want to jinx us. The weather is usually cooperative, and
it has been in the past for this, and hopefully it still is. And then after the walkathon, we'll actually be getting all of our entire student body set up in our courtyard, trying to figure out the exact configuration of how we're going to handle our groundbreaking ceremony for a brand new building that's going to be going up on campus. So we're excited for that as well.
Very exciting week, and next week is followed by a 3-day week after that, which is, I don't know about you, kind of had that circled on my calendar for a while.
Always have those weeks circled on our calendars. Spinning forward on that run, I believe that was Bacon once again for the Stags. He picks up about 4 yards.
Yeah, and
that was KJ Winston actually on that carry
from the backfield. Interesting.
Yeah.
Trying to mix up the ball carrier.
Yeah.
Just get Mr. Winston more touches is always a good game plan.
Yeah. Not to mention every time he's lined up in the backfield, he's gone in motion, and they've either swung it out to him or given it up to the running back. So giving it to him out of the backfield, nice little change up for the Stags offense. 2nd down and 6. Winston in motion once again, and they're going to give this one off. Brendan Wyatt pushing his way forward, just backing into the defense, keeping his legs churning. Helmet came off at the bottom of that pile, which means he's going to have to come out for a play. And yeah, his offensive lineman's like, okay, you don't have a helmet on, let's get you out of here.
Right. Love the fight, the young junior, though, Wyatt. I had the privilege of teaching him last year, stand-up young man.
So still waiting on them to change the down marker on the field, but it is going to be a 3rd down for DeMatha down around their 5-yard line.
And they converted the last 3rd and short by just doing what they know how to do best, running the ball up the middle. Don't expect to see much of anything else here.
They just called a penalty against DeMatha, though. And I didn't catch the signal, so I don't know what the call was, but let's see how many yards they mark off here.
Must have been something.
It must have been something major because he's jogging. He's not walking that ball back. He is jogging that back 15 yards, so a personal foul of some kind. And that takes DeMatha out of the red zone.
I mean, this is just an absolute backbreaker. Really hope DeMatha can do something with this drive because all the momentum was on their side. And
so it is
now
third
and forever.
And just about 20 yards to go.
3rd and just
call
about
19,
out of
call it
Holbrook's
19.
range.
Yeah.
I mean, all DeMatha needs is a second score here to put this game virtually out of reach the way it's been going.
And so this give, Winston spins, well covered by the defense of Life Christian Academy as we get a bit of a zoom in here on our cameras, and you can see Winston just was not going to go down, but Life Christian also was not going to let him get away.
Yeah, all eyes are on Winston. I don't think they're going to let him get away with a jet sweep, especially into the boundary there, the short field.
Yeah,
we'll see Holbrook's leg coming through here. This is a big play. We got the play of the night here, Corey.
Yep, this is going to be a 40-yard kick by Daniel Holbrook from the right hash mark on the 30-yard line. Bayard the holder. And there is a whistle as the kick was good. It looks like a defender might have jumped across the line early, but I'm wondering what the flag was for.
I know that the Life Christian coaches didn't call a timeout to ice him. High school's too soon for that.
So the signal is that it is – okay, so they're counting the field goal. So it was offsides, and they're going to decline the penalty. But you can see Life Christian on the other sideline. They're frustrated because there was a whistle. You throw the flag, but you're not supposed to blow the whistle.
It was a dead ball foul. They blew the whistle for a dead ball foul. That play was dead. So the Life Christian has reason to be upset.
Yeah.
But what a kick by Danny Holbrook, though. Can't take that away from him. I imagine the refs might confer on this one because that's not how the game's played right there.
Right. It looks like they are conferring, and you can see the head officials coming over to talk to Coach McGregor and try and figure out what's going on.
A neutral zone infraction you can play on.
Right. Yeah, you can. If it's not.
But that's not when they blew the whistle.
Well, right, and that's the problem is that they blew the whistle because once you blow the whistle, Life Christian, presumably stops playing. Stops playing.
Yeah, the right call was made here. It's good to see the officials sticking to their guns.
Yeah. So they will take those 3 points off the clock as number 74 is sprinting onto the field. Jake Getzinger, we might have to get him out on the track team this spring.
He was moving.
High snap, I should say, and this one is not going to get there. And Holbrook is on the ground. Somebody may have run into him. I don't see a penalty flag on the field, but what a heartbreaker there. DeMatha gets 5 yards, but they cannot get the field goal, so that'll keep it 7-0 now.
Yeah, that was a roughing the kicker penalty. He was thrown to the ground. The officials kind of losing the grip on the game here. But that is the story of the night for DeMatha to miss the kick from 5 yards closer when they made the kick on a too early blown whistle the snap before.
Yeah.
That just about summarizes
that's frustrating.
the night.
That's frustrating. You didn't have to blow the whistle. That field goal should have stood. That should have been a declined penalty with the field goal standing.
Right.
Instead, they blew the errant whistle. You have to replay that down. And then Holbrook misses the field goal on the second try.
That's right.
Man in motion is Turner. They're going to swing it out to him.
That's a fumble.
And I think that ball may have been tipped.
Well, it's clearly a backwards pass. So what this should be is a fumble, and the ball marked about 7 yards in the backfield. But it looks like they are marking it incomplete, and I believe that was a backward pass. Nope, they are spotting it.
Yeah, they're spotting it correctly. So, yeah, that was, in fact, a backward pass. It's going to be 2nd down and 16.
Well, this is the moment you got your senior quarterback in. You look to him and say, hey, what do we got to lose? We're in this game in the fourth quarter. We could ruin DeMatha's homecoming if we just put one drive together.
Yep, just need one good drive. Akeem Sledge split out to the bottom of your screen. A.J. Turner in the backfield, and they're going to switch positions. And Hoover back to pass, gets that over the middle, and wow, what a completion to number 14, Deontay Hill. I don't know how he threaded that needle.
Me neither.
He was throwing it off balance, too.
Off balance, a lofty ball over the middle.
Dangerous throw, but Hill was there to get it.
I doubt he was coached to make that play, but I bet his coach is pretty happy he did.
Yeah, so it was a 2nd and 16, so that's not quite enough for a first down, but it's close. 3rd down and inches to go, less than a yard.
And DeMatha is continuing to bring
low
pressure.
Snap. We've seen this before.
Why.
And ooh,
and that's why. Nice
taken
hit there.
Down in the backfield. Number 9 on that play. That is Emmett Laws.
Emmett Laws. You are arrested.
Great play by the sophomore defensive lineman there.
Yeah. Now, DeMatha flying around with the purpose. I think they know if they can keep the pressure on Life Academy.
And with less than 3.5 to go here, Life Christian is going to go for it on this 4th down and 6. Fortunate that they didn't lose more yards than they did on that last play. This is still a manageable conversion. And here we go. Hoover trying to get away from the defense, and he is not going to. He is taken down back inside the 10-yard line by number 52. That is Elijah Yarborough. The junior, 6'4", 280-pound defensive lineman with maybe the play of the night.
What a great sack there. What great pursuit by Yarborough, getting into the backfield, not giving up on the play. DeMatha's defensive line has really been fighting hard all night, and they finally get rewarded with what has to be the play of the game.
Just a terrific play there. Sets up a 1st down and goal from right on the 10-yard line for DeMatha's offense. A score here with under 3 to go. I mean, it pretty much does it for this game. So let's see what they come out with. Denzel Garner moves the set a little bit. He's going to give this up the middle to Bacon, and Bacon is going to pick up. They're going to whistle that one dead as number 3, Reed Pulliam, just had him by the shoestrings, not letting him go, but he picked up 4 yards.
He saw left tackle Michael Krauts did not like that one bit.
No.
He was about to go let him know how he felt about holding on to one of DeMatha's best players' ankles. That's a dangerous play.
So they gave him a full 5 yards on that. He might have been stretching forward as if that 5-yard line was the goal line.
A little Stretch Armstrong there for all of.
And another Life Christian player is on the ground right now. So once again, the trainers will head out and tend to the Life Christian player. DeMatha's next game is going to be next Friday night, a big WCAC rivalry game, a home game right here at Prince George's Sports Learning Complex against Gonzaga. We will not be streaming that game ourselves. That will be on flowfootball.com. So if you want to watch that game, make sure you head over to flowfootball.com next Friday night. DeMatha versus Gonzaga, a big rivalry game there.
Yeah, Gonzaga's coming in at 3-2. They've played some of the best talent in the country, really been tested, and they've proven to be pretty good. You know, the WCAC is shaping up to be a pretty tough gauntlet. St. John's is undefeated at this point. I didn't follow up on the Good Counsel's performance so far, but DeMatha will end its season on November 5th with Good Counsel. So, you know, DeMatha right now hoping to put this game away, stay healthy. They haven't put too much on film, right? And an expression meaning they haven't really showed too many of the tricks. And, you know, that might be on purpose going into a Gonzaga week, which you want to always keep Gonzaga a little surprised with what you're doing.
No doubt. So here we go. 2nd down and goal. Ball is spotted on the 5-yard line. Under center is Gardner. He gives this one up to Bacon. And Wyatt. That was Brendan Wyatt, and Wyatt easily gets into the end zone. What a powerful run.
Yeah, he gets that lean going. It's really impressive. He's like a bullet shooting through. I mean, just a fearless runner. It's really fun to see him when he has a little bit of space, what he can do.
So a 2-touchdown lead for DeMatha now as Danny Holbrook sets up to kick the extra point and make this a 14-point lead. Tawfiq Bard, the holder, and it looks like Life Christian had an extra man on the field. Number 10 was running off the field. No flag, but it's a moot point because Holbrook did make the extra point. Probably should have been a penalty and some good field position on the kickoff, but
these officials might just not want to be repeating any of the mistakes they made on that last drive.
They might want some film of this game themselves to study from. It's been a rough 4th quarter in particular for them.
Yeah, bit of a sloppiness all around, I'd say.
So 14-0 Stags here on homecoming night. They still have not updated the scoreboard to reflect the extra point, and I think that's because the officials were meeting, but they're already lining up to kick this ball away, and now they got that 14th point up there.
So it's that time of the night where everybody just hopes that coaches at least are hoping all the players can just keep their mouth shut and their ankles taped and get out of this thing clean.
Yeah, stay healthy. Don't need to be getting any penalties or extending the game any longer than it needs to. This game should be in hand at this point, so you just got to play some good defense, stay healthy, and get set for that Gonzaga game next Friday. And the kick is away, a bit of a low kick by Holbrook, but that one's going to bounce into the end zone, and they'll mark that one dead, as Jamil Anderson wanted to take that out, but he fielded it past the goal line.
That's right. High school football, once the kickoff crosses the plane of the goal line there, it's a touchback.
Good rule in high school, try and keep these players safe. So many injuries happen on returns, and obviously, the return game is exciting. You love to watch it. But especially at this level, it's just not worth the risk of an increased chance of injury.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that.
So here comes Shane Hoover once more. See what Life Christian wants to do with what is presumably their last drive of the night. Hoover will take this snap and passes it out wide to number 14, Deontay Hill, and it just went right through his fingertips, almost picked off. And number 20 for DeMatha, that's Robert Stevens, just could not quite come up with it.
Yeah, that's right. You want to think, okay, let's all take it easy now. Let's all. But when you're on that field and you've been flying around all night, you're gonna keep flying around so the final whistle gets blown. And Life Christian still swinging as they should.
My philosophy on backing off at the end of a game is you just can't, because if the other team is still pedal to the metal, you're just increasing the risk of injury if you back off your own intensity.
No, that's right.
You got to play football the way that you've trained to play football. As this play gets AJ Turner into some space and a huge gain for the senior running back. We haven't seen a game like that all night from Life Christian, but that's going to get them down around the 35-yard line.
Yeah, that must have about quadrupled their previous longest play from scrimmage.
At least. That's probably quadrupled their entire their whole offensive output, not including the first drive of the game. As once again they get to A.J. Turner, he slips, almost goes to the ground, and it actually kind of wound up working in his favor. He picked up a couple extra yards. Defender just flew right past him. 2nd down and 8 for Life Christian as they are hurrying up to the line. Clock still ticking down to 1.5 minutes to go in the game. Taking a lot of time to set this play up. Hoover on the run, and he's got some space to take this one, and he does up to about the 22-yard line. So that's going to be enough to move the chains. Really good job. I mean, he only got a yard past the chains, and there's no chains on that side of the field, so he knew exactly where he needed to go, got there, and got out of bounds.
A nice play by Simeon Coleman, too, on defense, pursuing him to the sideline and then letting up, not making a stupid penalty at this stage of the game.
22 yards from the end zone. The Life Christian Eagles set up in the shotgun, 3 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen. One more to the top. A.J. Turner in the backfield. And Hoover steps up into the pocket and looked like he was about to flip the ball. Instead, he's going to run. He's got some blockers upfield, and he's going to take that down near the marker, probably just short.
Directing his receiver in the flat to turn upfield, it's the right idea. If the defender goes with the quarterback, you throw it. If the defender goes with the receiver, you run it.
Yep. In fact, they gave him the first down right at the 12-yard line, so they're saying he got exactly where he needed to go.
Well,
got out of bounds again, and we're now down to 66 seconds in this game. But
Life
they are
Christian in the red zone, down 14, a minute to go, still well in this game. If the scoreboard's correct, they have all 3 timeouts. Is that right?
I don't think that they weren't moving the timeouts in the first half, but they do have the Stags down to 1, so that might be correct. 3 receivers to the top of your screen on this play. And Hoover looking for number 13. No flag down that I see. as he was targeting Akeem Sledge, and some really tight defense there. Was that Dante Lovett?
Yes, it was. All night he has been on them like glue. It was a good no call. The ball was uncatchable. Receivers were step for step. They tripped feet. Wasn't intentional contact or anything like that. No pass interference, just good coverage. Nice no call by the refs.
2nd and 10 set up. Ball on the 12. Exactly 1 minute left to go in this game. Hoover. Ooh. Oh, he actually had a bit of a window, but his receiver kind of overran that window.
It was either the receiver overrunning the window or the quarterback deciding to change who he was throwing it mid-throw. I think it was one of those cases where as the ball was leaving his hand, he said, nope, I'm going over here.
Yeah, just a little bit off target. Not a bad idea on that throw. It was probably the right read, but not on target. And even if it had been right on target, it was pretty well defended. So that'll set up 3rd and 10.
DeMatha locking it down here, man free in the red zone, bringing everybody else.
Press coverage on the bottom of the screen here. And Hoover is just going to toss this one up into the end zone, and that is picked off. Number 20, Robert Stevens, with the interception in the red zone to ice the game. What a play.
Great game Robert Stevens has had. He's had some big hits there with the interception on the toss-up. A lot of standout players for DeMatha's defense making a big splash in today's football contest. And, got to credit Life Christian for, to the very end, just giving themselves a chance, staying in the game.
Yeah, good fight by the Life Christian Eagles. Certainly a closer game than either of us were expecting coming in. But kudos to Life Christian on playing us very tough tonight.
No, absolutely.
Certainly helped a little bit by some sloppiness on our side, but there was more than enough sloppiness on their side to make up for that. So I'd say that might be more or less even. And they kept it tight all the way down to the wire. So DeMatha sets up in the victory formation. And going with a hard count. And
he took a
I don't even want to try to explain what just happened there, because we snapped the ball when Gardner was not ready for it, and then he didn't kneel. And you can't really fault Life Christian for at that point saying, well, okay, if you're not going to kneel, then we're going to go ahead and try and punch you in the mouth.
I saw it differently. I saw a kneel down, but the officials couldn't see it because DeMatha was crowding the balls so tightly with all the backfield there within inches of the quarterback. And the quarterback himself just being a freshman.
Yeah, they threw a penalty flag out there. I don't know if they just picked it up or if there was an actual call, but I guess they picked up the flag. So
there has been a lot of interesting math and calls during this game.
And there is a clean kneel down that time, and that should be enough to wind the last seconds off the clock. And it is. So clock is ticking. They do not need to snap the ball again. DeMatha will take this game 14-0, their homecoming game against the Life Christian Academy Eagles. What are your takeaways from this one, Mark?
Well, DeMatha's got a lot to learn from the film, but in the words of my predecessor, Coach Tim Breslin, it's always good to learn from a win.
You learn a lot from a loss, but definitely better to learn from a win.
It's a little more enjoyable when you're learning from a win.
Absolutely. So, terrific game tonight. 14-0, your final score. Students, hope you guys have a great time at homecoming tomorrow night. And until next time, for DM Stags TV, for Mark Goodson, and for all of our students with video broadcast journalism who did a fantastic job on the video cameras, the switchboard, and everything else tonight, I'm Cory Puffett saying good night, and thank you so much for joining us.